Hi everyone, this is Heidi with Downtown NorCal Live, and today we're taking a little trip remote on Zoom, of course, but we're going to head to the coast of Northern California, my favorite spot to visit, Capitola. We are going to be visiting with Sierra Reisig. She is the owner of Lumen Gallery. Welcome, Sierra.
Hello.
You are in your beautiful store. It's so well appointed. I enjoy visiting there every time I'm down in the village. Can you talk a little bit about what you supply?
So we like to focus a lot on local artists. We also really like elevated high-end design goods for your home. And we have a heavy collection of jewelry. Lots of jewelry.
And you are one of the main jewelry designers, right?
Yes, I am.
So this is an odd Friday before Memorial Day weekend, and I want to give respects to all the men and women who have given their lives in service to our country, but it also can mark the beginning of the summer season for many, and that is not the case. That's not the feeling in the Capitola Village at this point.
It's a different summer. It's going to be different.
What does it feel like being there this summer as opposed to others?
It's peaceful. It's very peaceful. It's quiet, but the weather is amazing. It's just going to be a different pace. So, yeah.
You have really caught my attention because you are a beautiful writer. Your newsletters have had lots of just very direct communication, like where do we go from here, or we still need you. You know, you're speaking directly to the consumer, and I find that to be very effective. One of the things you said was that you weren't going to lie, that brick and mortar might be on the chopping block. Can you go a little further?
Oh my gosh, where do I start with that? So in our current state, we are just going online. We aren't allowed to do personal shopping yet. So it feels like my brick and mortar is more of like a warehouse right now. And it kind of feels good, you know, being a mom with a small child home from school. It feels good to be able to manage things this way. I feel really blessed to be in a position where I can rely on online business, and I've been in business for 9 years, so I have a following who I can speak to directly, and I can ask and say, hey, support me right now if you want to see me later. It's a big transition. It's a huge creative process. I also feel really lucky to be a creative because I think that I have the imagination and the skills to be able to really morph with what's happening right now.
So 100% online, that is a very big challenge for any brick and mortar small business because of the limited number in your inventory per item. How challenging has it been for you to transition in that way?
The first few weeks were a challenge. We heard somewhere that a lot of small businesses are basically a new startup. Everyone's a new startup right now. So we're all running our businesses as a new startup. We're learning all kinds of new things. We're teaching ourselves new things. We're working really long hours. We're working every day. So the first 2 weeks of this situation were like that for me. I was listing until the middle of the night. I was waking up at 2 in the morning with all this energy, like I just need to get on there and keep listing, and learning how to list. And when I'm saying list, I'm talking about adding inventory to the online store. So there was a lot of energy that was being poured in the beginning, but I definitely feel like I have learned the flow, and it's more of just maintenance now. And it feels good. I like it.
That's a nice positive report. You mentioned that this is basically right now a warehouse for you, and yet you're 1 block from the beach. We all know that real estate is expensive. So how How long can you hang out in that space and expect to operate as a warehouse?
I mean, that's a hard question to answer because every day is different and every week is different and every month is different. So it's hard to see in the future. We're just living in the present right now. And we've cut our expenses as low as we can go. Like, all of my employees are on an unemployment right now. They're not working for me. I'm the sole person working and I don't pay myself a paycheck. So I'm just working for you guys. But, we're not paying our full rent right now. Our electricity bill is lower, our water bill is lower. Like, basically, we're just functioning on a really sustainable level right now. So yes, our sales are lower, but we're able to sustain this as long as we continue to get these online sales and we can function as a business like this. We're going to be able to sustain until it's time to open or do more personal shopping appointments.
And how safe do you feel about opening in that way?
I do not feel safe opening my doors to the public unless I'm doing one-on-one personal shopping. That I'm okay with. It's not legal yet, but when it will be, I'm really excited and happy to try that out with some of our customers who just really want to come in and have the experience of being here and touching and feeling the merchandise before they purchase it, and seeing it. So I'm pretty comfortable with that, but I'm not comfortable opening the doors and letting people come in.
One of the things I've been worried about with, when we're on, one of the reasons I love small business too, is that when you're on vacation, you want to go somewhere unique. You want to browse, it's the flavor of those interesting restaurants and boutiques that draw us in addition to the beach. And so it's interesting. You're talking about an entirely new way of operating.
Yeah. I mean, I could see if someone was here visiting for a couple days and they walk by my store and they look in the windows and they're like, wow, I really want to go into that store. We're going to be really communicative and we're going to tell people on our windows, if you like what you're seeing in here and you want to come in and shop, go onto our online store, check out our inventory, and decide if you want to have a shopping experience with us and book it.
Great. Yeah.
So you kind of get to think about it beforehand and be like, do I want to come in this store? Do I want to spend money and support this store before coming in?
Yeah. You carry a lot of, speaking of sustainable, before artisans who all practice sustainably. And so that's one of the things I've also noticed about small businesses. If I want to purchase goods like that, I tend to find it in the small business. How worried are you about sustainable practices?
Worried? What do you mean by worried?
Well, if artisans don't have a place to showcase their goods, can they continue to find a way to sell?
Well, I think we're going to see everywhere that everyone is going to be adapting to this new way. And honestly, I think that you'll probably see, and artisans are already doing this, they have been for a long time, but you're going to see a lot of them selling direct to customers and trying to find a way to reach customers without stores like this, which has already been happening anyway. But I'm not worried. I wouldn't say that I'm worried at all. I just think that things are going to change and we're just going to adapt to a new way of doing this kind of business. And I think the artists who are really connected to their art and their customer, they're going to find a way to continue to connect.
Yeah.
Whether it be through us or direct.
You talked before we started recording about this time being in many ways refreshing for you because you didn't realize, you were a little bit burned out and allowing you the chance to think differently. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, it felt like things were snowballing and it was just getting busier and busier and more and more. And I've even talked to a lot of other artisans around our area, people that I work with through the store, who are also feeling this like intense amount of pressure and buildup. And, you know, something that kind of happens when the economy blows out this big is that customer service starts to really decrease, you know, and you start to see things just turn into like a spiral about money. And what's been really nice to see with this slowdown is we're getting to connect with our customers a lot more deeply. They're getting higher customer service from us. And we're able to create on just more of a connected level, I guess. We're just more mindful. We're able to just kind of declutter. I feel like this is a really good time for a lot of us who we get a chance to just like let our brains soak everything in a little bit better and come into a, like I've said a few times already, a more sustainable way of doing business.
Yeah. That what you're describing, that connection with your customers and that personal expertise that you provide, that is the hallmark of small business. And I appreciate that point very much.
Yeah.
Ending on a question about you have another job in life. You became a full-time
every day
full-time teacher recently. Can you talk about challenges of being a business owner and teacher and mom of a young child?
Yeah. So I have a 6-year-old. He'll be 7 in a couple days. His birthday is the same day as Lumen Gallery's birthday, actually. And so Leo's in 1st grade, and I have also learned how to be a homeschool teacher, which has been very interesting, to say the least, and very time consuming. And has also really brought to light the balance of life and how important it is to be present for your kids and be a good mom and be there for them and be able to balance when you have a business, like spending time with your child and spending time with your business, but really being aware of that balance. For me, you know, I see some of my peers in the business doing curbside pickup, let's say like every day of the week. And I'm like, wow, I can't do that. I mean, I can pick 2 days to do it, but I'm a mama and I'm a wife and I have family that's really important to me. So I'm just really grateful that my customers are really just being there for me and being okay with that and not asking for more than I can provide at this time. So yeah, it's been a balancing act.
You are really touching the heart of every small business owner I know. Just very gracious and hopeful to talk to you. Can you just provide us your website as we close out?
Yeah, so my website is lumengal.com.
And that's
so check it out.
1L.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, lumengal.com.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I have been talking to Sierra Reisig. She's the owner of Lumen Gallery in Capitola Village. I do these interviews Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday, and I hope to see you all next week. Thank you so much for joining me, Sierra.
Thanks, Heidi.